Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Urme Shade Your World. Many of you have a question that from where we can start our data analysis, what are the initial steps we should follow, and what are the fundamental way or the basic commands that we should start with, and how we can do the analysis, and many questions. Is there any process that automate the analyzing of our data? Is there any command that we are not aware of? So what exactly, so there are a lot of things are going on in the analysis because there is no standard way of everyone do. Whether you follow any platform, they have a different way of analyzing the data. So what are the uh, steps or what we should start? And many of them are having such questions. So please watch this video. I will tell you all those steps that it will help you in analyzing your data, and start from the very basic and the fundamental commands. Uh, and at the end, I will give you one tip that will help you in automating this whole analyzing of data steps. But at least these are the initial steps. Later, we will see some more as well. But in this video, watch till the end what and how we should do the analyzing the whole data set. And yes, so let's get started. So as you can see here, I have imported the important library. This is the most important step that some or other way people are missing and they never follow that. So I would highly give recommend everyone to please import your libraries first and then start at least the basic libraries, and then in between you can add some more, but at least add the important library. In all this thing, we are mainly focusing on the pandas and their capabilities. And whenever you do any kind of an analysis or data manipulation or data exploration, you should start adding pandas, as this is the most important library. So here as well, I have imported pandas as PD, because this is universally accepted, and the alias name, or this is how it reference that what is PD is actually the alias name of panda. So please follow that which is universally accepted, so it will be easy for you in your business, or in the company level, that how it everyone works. Then start importing the OS as well. OS is for whenever you want to set the directory, or want to set your or get the working directory names, or want to change the directory name, or you want to extract, append, read, write. That's kind of a things that you want to do anything with your file, or to save anything, any file in particular format and the way. So for all this, OS is there. So OS is one of that library helps you here. And for me, I like to change the directory, because you are so always use this OS for to set up your directory and then import your file. So as you can see here, I have imported one file which is on heart related or cardiovascular events, and this is everywhere available. But for you, I will also add in the description box for just for in case if you want to work on this same CSV file, and um, follow the same steps that what I do here in your Jupyter notebook, or in Google Colab also work for you. And also you can start with Spider. So anything works. I'm using here Jupyter. So let's get started. You can import here the CSV file using the read CSV PD. For more of how to import this video, I have already added in my playlist. So please watch that videos as well, and then it would be better to understand this. So let's get started with analyzing your data. As you can see here, this whole data, there's a columns of starts from age, sex, CP, then FPS, the rest ECG. So there are a lot of these points that is related to the heart or the cardiovascular reports. So based on that, this is for the patient's data, related to patient's data. And in this whole data set, there are 303 rows and 14 columns. This is how this whole data set. Now, to view the data set, what is the step? If I want to view a very, let's say only five records, top five records, or the last five records, or randomly if I want to view any data, so you should write here df dot head. This head, oops, it's df dot head. If you write df dot head, then this will give you the topmost five records. reason behind of viewing this data in this df dot head is because you have to check, is there any header file here, is there header, not header file, header information, sorry for that, header information, because many csv or excel file, people used to add some kind of wrapped or the merged data between the columns or at the top or something around there. So instead of, because we focus here on the analyzing the columns and the respective records, not on the information that is available, which are extra added. So if you want to remove those, so you need to first go with df.head to just to view the data, not just top 5 records, but also that it matches that the columns exactly on the header and there is no extra information, and you need to skip some rows and all that things that you have to work on. So this is how, and the way you imported the data is exactly matching with what is there in the csv or the excel or any formatted file that you are using. So is this the correct way your python or your panda is fetching the record or extracting the record? So for this you need to use df.head. Then comes df.head. Why so? Because not just for to get you the last 5 records, but also to check that is there any in footer. Is there, if you have heard, there is a header and footer in every other file, and in footer if there is any information. So if you want to skip those rows, to skip those footer information, for that you need to check the tail as well. So in that as well the data has been pulled in a correct manner and not some extra information. So this is, for this you need to view this df.tail. And there is one more to randomly check in between the records. So for that, just df.sample, which will give you the one sample which is randomly, as I have not mentioned any number here. Let's say if I give 3, then it will give you randomly 3 numbers. There is no stagnant thing here that it will always change once you run this whole cell. So this is how you can have some random records, and this is the way. For more of this detailed analysis or detail for understanding this view, tail and sample, I have already added one video here, so you can follow this step. The next step is to what is the shape or the dimension of the data. For this, simply you have to write df.shape. Df.shape will give you what are the number of rows and the number of columns. If you have seen this in your top, I have already defined this are the number of rows and columns here, and that similar thing that you can have here using the shape. You can also have a specific let's say just want the number of rows, so then you can use df.shape, and this is in the form of array, and in python every index starts with 0. So here if I write the zeroth of the shape, then it will give me the number of record rows that are there, so number of rows as per that. And if you want to check the number of columns, then just give it 1 in the position or the index number, and this will give me 14, which says the number of columns. So this is what you can extract your number of rows and number of columns from the shape. Now comes the data type. How, what are the type of data types? This age, sex, cp, the trust, bps, cholesterol. Even there is one old peak which is something in floating in number, rest are there are in numerical, so I would expect this has to be in the integer format. So let's check this here using df.d types. It should be d types. Okay, and let's run this cell. Yep. As you can see here, all are the column names and these are the respective data types. This old peak has to be in the float number, rest of them are in the integer, which is absolutely matching with what is there in the data and what this data type is giving us. If there is a change, if sometimes it happens that you have to do the typecasting and all that. So these are the initial way where you can start. If this data type are different and how you can change different data types, so typecasting is one of that method you should follow up if there is anything. So these are the initial analysis of your data that I'm showing here, and from where we can start further on. So this is the step that to check the data type. Now comes, is there any missing record or not? So how we can get it from in this Python. So write just df dot is null. Is null is a function that you should call to just to check is there any null values or not, and then dot sum. Why dot sum? Because this will give me that individually on the column level, is there it will give me the number of rows or number of records that having the um, missing values in it. If there is no such null values here, it will give me simply zero there. If it is there, then what are is there two records in this whole age column? Is there any null or something? So that's how. So let's check this out. Let's run this cell. As you can see, everything is zero, which says that there is no missing value here. This is simply, it defined that no missing values. So yeah, lucky you that you don't need to further go with the treating the missing records. But in when you work in the company and they have the data, you always face this thing that there will be a missing records. So how to treat those missing records? So that I will add in future in more of the videos in uh, in few days. So I will add that as well. But these are the basic steps. So this is how you can check, is there any missing record or not. And the last and the final thing that will automate all the steps, that is using df.info. Write this thing, it will give you all the information that you need for this basic or the what you can say fundamental information or preliminary analysis that you can say. It's not that from where you can start, but yes, this is the start thing that you should go your head further on. That is df.info. This is giving me all the information that I want and I have wrote here, except this viewing the data that you have to write. But the rest of the shape, the data types, and is there any missing records or not, everything you can have with just with this command, that is df.info. So what it gives me, that these are the column names and there are no null. So how many no null? So this is the opposite. If there is any null or something, this will give me less than 303 records. How I got to know that the total number of entries is 303, which starts from this to this index, which is equal to the number of records or the number of rows here. And the column data column is 14, which says the total number of is 14 columns here. And then what are the different data types? So these are the different data types. For the old pig is giving me the float 64, which we have got here using this command df.dtypes, that is giving me in this info command. So this is how you can have your d types. These are the different d types and these are the memory usage. So I think I'm getting some extra information when it comes compared to this basic that we have wrote individual thing. But yes, this is the most helpful in every data to analyze or to start with. I hope you like this video. For more such video, please hit on bell icon and um, click follow my channel. Thank you so much. And do like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.